Hi, I'm going to introduce you to my website. It has been hosted at isaacvale.com. Here it has a loading animation all done in CSS, and the web page itself is my own portfolio. It has these sections here and about me. The portfolio, these are a few assignments from free code camp that I did. You can click on them and you're taken to CodePen projects here. And then there's an education area. It contains only courses that I took online. Okay, you click here, you're taken to the course and to the specialization in each course in the specialization. Then a contact area with links to my pages at CodePen, Stack Overflow, GitHub, and you can see the page is fully responsive. Okay, sorry. It adapts. As it adapts the menu, let me make it a little bit bigger. The nav bar here, as the page shrinks, it moves down here with icons instead of text, and as it goes bigger, there's this little button here. As the page grows bigger, all the content adapts. And because the assignment asked for 3 pages at least, I think it was 3 pages, then I added a little extra content here in the back. You click this button, you are taken into this page with a little bit of the code, the pieces of the code that I found more interesting. It is responsive. It's actually done with Flexbox, and this piece here takes you to some sketches, some drawings I did. These are pure SVG drawings. If they were PNG, they would weigh about 2 meg or something like that, but because they are SVG, they are a little over 200 kilobytes. Okay, now let's try to validate these pages. Let me just close this. First, let's try a W3 validator, because the website is hosted. You can just type in isaacvale.com. Try check it out. No warnings, and we can do this with the extra pages also. No warning, and sketch. So no warning. We could do this with the wave validator as well. I can come here and isaacvale.com. It will throw out some alerts here, but as you can see, no error, / code HTML, no errors, and finally no errors as well. So there it is, it fully validates. Now let me try and present to you the things I consider extra about this project. And the first thing is this loading animation. It's all done in CSS. I put it here because at least with my internet connection, it took a while for the Google fonts to load, and then I put up some eye candy. See, I at least don't mind as much the loading gap when it's in an animation. So I'm supposed to show you how it's done. I'm using the Atom IDE. So here it is, the index HTML. It contains this greeting, this loader. It's just this markup, and I put it in a special CSS file, anim. So here is the greeting part. There's the animation delays. Now I used the background as a loading bar, and it follows the jumping up and down of the square. As the square jumps, it becomes thinner. When it hits the ground, it becomes wider, and I put a little shadow over there. That just a square going larger and thinner also. So here it is, all the animation. This I submit is the first extra. Now the second extra, I think it's clear to those who know the technology, is that this isn't plain CSS. This is my main style file, and as you can see, this is CSS, not plain CSS. So I can use these variables, CSS variables. They are kind of easier to use than the plain CSS variables, but the CSS variables are still a little bit powerful, more powerful. You can nest elements inside. For example, this class shout, it has this children class, this pen here. When this is converted to plain CSS, it will go something like dot shout space span. So you can nest these things, and it becomes much easier to control your code. You can use mixin, see everything's nested. So after I added this as CSS file, this CSS file, I have to compile it. I go in style, open in terminal, and I would go something like says style.scss and convert it to style.css. And if there's no error, that's what it does. It converts this file into a style.css, which is this one, plain simple CSS. So this is the second extra. And the third extra, I'll show it to you. It's this parallax in the background. If you look closely, as I scroll the page, the background is moving at a slightly different pace than the rest of the web page. And this is done. Here I create a background div, and it's actually done via JavaScript. I have this style script here, where I have the parallax function somewhere here. Set the parallax here. What it does is it creates this background div, and it makes it a little smaller than the whole height of the document, but it is still a little bit bigger than the screen itself. When I scroll, instead of just scrolling the absolute amount of pixels in the background, which it would normally do, if I scroll 10 pixels, the background would scroll 10 pixels. What it does is it takes the percentage of the scrolling compared to the document and apply the same percentage to the background. But because their sizes are different, it means that in absolute pixels the background will scroll at a different pace. So this is the third extra. Now the fourth extra, it was a little bit harder to do, and it's much more interesting, but I cannot demonstrate it to you in the hosted website. I will have to set up a local server here. Open terminal. It is I have already, come on, Python simple HTTP server. So now it's serving, and let me go to localhost 8000. Okay, this is the page as it is hosted in my computer. Now the fourth extra is this portfolio project here. They are not actually written in the HTML code, neither are these courses. They are actually written in a JSON that is my makeshift database here. And what the page does is it sends an AJAX request to the server. That's why I had to put up a server here, and it will receive this JSON file, and then it will create these components automatically with that data. And I'll show it to you what's going on now. Here I can take this is the JSON with the information about each project and each course that I took. And if I go here in the script, here it's loading the information, and then it does something very interesting. Inside the HTML, I have these template tags, like new course here. Now the template tag, it hides this content from the viewer, but it also hides from the script. You cannot access it directly from with the script. You have to target the template itself and take the content as an inner HTML, so it comes out as a string. Now I can create a markup for the component here in the template, and then on the script I get this inner HTML. I'm using jQuery, so it's HTML, and then I will inject the information from the JSON inside inside this template code, and then I will append it back to the table itself. And I can show you this in action right now. Just go to the database. Let's say I wanted to add a new course. I can copy it here, and I say my extra specialization isaacfail.com sketch. Let's do it like this, just to show another page. Institution, it will be myself. Hours, let's put 1 to 10. In the courses, I will do Intro to 101. It's a very basic one. What about Hello World? And now what I'm doing here is, let's say that I did not complete this one here. I'm still enrolled, but I'm not complete. Then I'll add this minus sign in front of it, just this dash. Okay, so this is a valid entry to the in the JSON file. Now when I reload the page, scroll down, I have my extra specialization here for myself, and I can click it and go to the isaacfail.com. Oh, I didn't set up the HTTPS. Could that be it? Yes. So yeah, I did do something wrong with in the JSON file, and that's it. I invite you to try this tic-tac-toe. I find it rather enjoyable. So thanks for checking out my page, and good luck on your own projects.